Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
It's more than bats. If you believe that, we'll convince you perhaps on this program. It's more than oil and gas. I'm not sure about that. More than tourism, we'll see. What am I talking about? Well, we know that Carlsbad Caverns are near Carlsbad. Of course, it's the gateway to the vast bat-filled caves of Carlsbad National Park. But they say Carlsbad is more than bats, more than oil and gas, more than tourism. We're going to find out how much more on this program. Please stay with us as we discuss Carlsbad and so much more. We'll be back right after this. I learned something as I prepared for this program. You perhaps even know this. Carlsbad, what is it named after? I know what it is. I'm going to ask my guest because we're going to have a lot of fun. And I found out, if you can believe what you find out on the internet, but my guest should know better than I do. My guest today, Chad Ingram. Welcome to the program, Chad. He's the CEO of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce for 4 years now.
For 4 years, yes. It's been exciting, and thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And we got J.W. Sutphin.
Yes.
He's the retirement director.
I am the retirement director.
And he's the expert on Carlsbad and the Christmas program. We're going to do that about the Carlsbad Christmas on the Pecos. But, okay, the question, how was Carlsbad named?
So Carlsbad was named, and you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong if you've done all your research, but it was actually, I believe, named after a city in Romania that was spelled with a K, and the water that is found in Carlsbad, New Mexico from the natural spring was very similar to that water, and that's how we came up with the name Carlsbad. And
Good job.
And ours is Carlsbad with a C, so yes, ma'am.
I saw online that in 1888, it was first the town of Eddy.
Yes, ma'am.
E-D-D-Y, after the Eddy and I think Bishel livestock.
That I don't know, but I know it was the town of Eddy.
Town of Eddy after Eddy with this Bishel livestock.
Yeah, and then massive
about
fire.
1918, Carlsbad, it was from a spa in Bohemia.
Bohemia, not Romania.
Well, maybe it's the same thing.
Who knows? Who knows?
We should know.
We should
We're not
know.
dumb
We should
Americans.
know. I
We
should
should
have
know.
known that. Should have known
So it's after a spa. So I didn't know. Okay, it's named after a spa, but I didn't know something about the waters. I thought that's kind of weird, named after a spa, but I did find out a lot of people emigrated to the Carlsbad area from Italy and from Europe. A lot of European people there.
Right.
But so I thought, how strange. It's a spa?
You know what? There's a spot on the Pecos River to where it actually comes up, and they say that it was mineral water, that it was healing waters. You know, New Mexico is famous for different spots. You know, hot spots.
Well, the
artesian
wells. That's artesian water.
And so that is what this was. Is that it was the healing waters of Carlsbad. Now, whether they're the healing waters or not, I don't know. But I know that they make a great river.
Yes.
And we like to utilize that. You know, our river runs through town. It's for our irrigation as well. You know, in fact, our river is one of the only rivers on the planet that crosses itself. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, because so you have the spring come up, then you have the flow, and then we have a structure called the flumes that carries the river back over into our irrigation district.
Oh,
pretty cool, right?
JW, what do you think of all this?
I was going to mention a couple years ago, I was looking through doing some research, and I saw the springs, and it's real close to the flume. And I told Chad, I said, we need to recreate this. We need to find this ourselves and box it off and recreate it. Nobody can tell exactly where it is. We know the flume is in the background. So we're going to do a little bit more research.
I really don't even know what you're talking about. Flume. What are you? So the river?
So the flume is a man-made aqueduct. It was one of the largest wood structures in New Mexico for a while. But, you know, now over the years it has to be updated. But think of the river flows this way, okay? But before it gets there, it flows into an irrigation and then it flows back over itself so we can get it out to the fields. So basically it's an aqueduct.
So what do you want to do with that, JW?
No, I want to recreate and find out exactly where that hot springs is, where it comes out, and make it another mineral springs again, so that we can have.
Oh, we don't know where it
where
comes
the
out?
stuff-
It comes up in a bunch of different spots, but the one specifically named, we were on a mission to find it.
So there are 6 natural springs that feed the Pecos River through there. And I know we've got pictures. By the time this airs, I'm sure we'll have sent you pictures of the flume. Most of the people spend their time, weddings, graduation pictures, any type of an event, they'll go against the flume and have the sunset in the background. It flows kind of like that, and the sun comes underneath, so it reflects. We light it up at
goes
night,
up.
scourge it.
Okay. So hopefully
So the flume comes
Wow.
across.
Yeah, think of like a bridge over the water with a column
And we
in the
still
middle.
have that now.
Yeah, we still have it now. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it a recreational area, JW?
Yes, we kayak. We try to kayak as far up as we can, and it's real clear water. It's like a foot or two deep, but it is most of our pictures I take of sunsets and stuff are of the flume because
But
it's
now,
a
wait a second. Do we want to tell these secrets about Carlsbad? I mean,
I-
do we? Or should we just keep it to ourselves?
No, we want to get it out.
We
want to get
do?
it out. You know, you said earlier, you know, that this Carlsbad is more than this and more than that.
Well, that's because that's what you told me. I only know Carlsbad is bats and
Bats and
petroleum
the
and
right.
potash
Now-
hub and.
You know, and
Oil and
there's no
gas.
doubt that oil and gas is a huge part of Carlsbad and the Permian Basin as well as the Delaware Basin. You know, we've got, you know, ConocoPhillips, we've got Exxon, we've got Chevron, we've got Oxy, then you have all of your midstream companies there. So Carlsbad over the last 15, almost 2 decades has really exploded population-wise due to the fact that we have all of these companies coming in. But the impact that these companies are having on our town is what's truly great. They're all community involved. All of them are making sure that they're not just coming into the community, but that they're being a part of the community, and that's why.
Has that always been the case, Chad?
You know what? I think it has. I think that they want to be a part of it. This is where their people are going to live, and they really want to take care of the city in which they are in. We've built some great partnerships with them. They've made some great, you know, reciprocated that partnership back towards us on different.
Or what, like some of your parks and things?
Oh
or
yeah,
some
our
of the
parks,
infrastructure?
yeah,
Or what,
yeah.
what kind
Parks,
of partnerships?
infrastructure. They're very, very philanthropic when it comes to our nonprofit organizations. They do a lot of work with, you know, United Way, Jonah's House, you know, the Soup Kitchen. You know, they just want to be involved, and we have this great resource that brings them all here, and then they're blessing us back.
Splash pads.
Pardon?
We've come in with splash pads. We have 2 splash pads. We have a brand new one that they just have dedicated recently and stuff.
That's a park where the water shoots up.
There's buckets that dump it. And
Everything about Carlsbad, we don't want to hide and stuff. my favorite is the longest home run ever hit in the country is out of Carlsbad, New Mexico, 755 feet, 1955. No one can match that. 755 feet baseball, long before the baseballs were doctored and stuff.
Chad, who knew about that?
that's why I hired him. That's why I hired him.
Who knows
We
that?
have a statue dedicated to this person now. So
I'm surprised
absolutely.
because your altitude is only 3,000.
You're-
You know, I would
that's
think
right.
a ball
That's
at a
exactly right.
higher altitude, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, at
Absolutely.
7,000 would go further.
Even Denver.
We're higher than Denver. Give us a break. Albuquerque's higher than the Miles City.
I'm-
We just
yes.
don't have that. We're
But
the
the
land
ball
of
travels,
enchantment.
yes.
We're the Duke City.
Yeah.
We're the city different, but we're higher than
Home of
Denver.
the
Come on.
Isotopes, home of United. You got all kinds of great
So
things going on.
Chad can tell you better. We have a museum that has all of our sports Hall of Fame. Our newest inductee is going to be
Friday, Drew Gaffney.
Drew Davenport.
He was an astronaut that came out of Carlsbad that was in the NASA program, and he'll be inducted into the Carlsbad Hall of Fame this Friday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
For being an astronaut?
Yeah, for his impact on NASA and space research.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
I was thinking it was a sports Hall of Fame.
No,
It's just a Hall of Fame.
It's just our Hall of Fame.
Well, I want to hear about that right now, but we're going to get into other things about Carlsbad, the population, and what's more than bats. But who else is in your Hall of Fame?
Oh,
JDW.
we've got Sonny Throckmorton. Wrote a bunch of songs for George Strait. Wrote a bunch of songs for the Judds. We've got Janelle Whitlock. She was a huge influence in Carlsbad.
Let's go back to the baseball. Shane Andrews, he'll tell you who had the first home run of the millennium.
Shane Andrews
From Carlsbad.
Yep, he is. Yeah, he played for the Carlsbad Cavemen, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Beckett Thompson, softball, basketball Hall of Fame. She's in 2 Hall of Fames out of Indiana. Very popular. She ran Becky's Restaurants for years, and she still plays golf today. She's in her 80s. She's been inducted.
Yeah, Alejandro Ruiz.
Yeah, Alejandro Ruiz.
Who's Alejandro Ruiz, JW?
Alejandro Ruiz is our first Medal of Honor winner out of Carlsbad. Yes.
Okay.
Senior Center named after him, and then he has a plaque also. Carlsbad is very, very good for veterans. We have a great veterans park. I lived here for a few years and stuff. And of course, Vietnam era, kind of ashamed to be a military veteran and stuff. You go to Carlsbad, it's just a different story. We have, in fact, I got to lead the parade last year. I was a keynote speaker, and I wasn't even in Nam. And so we have a Huey. We brought in a brand new Huey. We have a tank. They treat military veterans. On Veterans Day, they feed everybody. So I was proud to be a veteran at that particular point. They have really taken care of the veterans. I think we have the third, how do you call it? Santa Fe has a national memorial park, and I think Silver City, and I think we're the third one.
Third
Carlsbad's
National
one.
Cemetery. You have National Cemetery?
Cemetery for veterans. It'll
Oh,
be a
you
state.
do have. You are
Yes.
getting that.
Yes.
Of course, we know Santa Fe, and you said the other community, JW, is
Silver City.
Silver City.
Silver City
Yes.
has a
Yeah.
national cemetery.
Yeah.
But I think you were just granted that in recent years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Currently, I think there's only eight
Yeah,
people
it's
buried there
brand
now.
new.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's within the last year. Yes.
Okay. You know, when I gave the list of more than bats, more than potash, more than oil and gas, more than tourism, I forgot to say more than a river. I mean, but wow, your Pecos River down there is phenomenal.
It is.
It's
It is.
just, that's why I wanted to keep it a secret.
Yeah, no, you know, we love for people to come see it. We want people to come. We want people to enjoy it. We want people to bring their families. You know, and
It's water.
it's not
mean,
just
and-
water.
Well,
It's-
but you got water. I mean, the Rio.
Yeah.
You've got water.
Yeah, we've
Rio
got-
Grande, people drive over the bridge and look, wow.
Yes.
It's just sand,
y-
sandbars.
You know, and
But you've got flowing water.
we have flowing water, and it's not the only body of water that we have in Carlsbad. We also have Brantley Lake State Park, which is also a lake, and then we also have Avalon Lake. So we actually have 3 bodies of water.
How did you get water?
You
From
know,
these springs? These
you know
natural-
what? God just blessed us. I have no idea. You know, but we'll take it, and it's great for the recreation. But you know, you said it earlier, and JW, you know, hit on it earlier with all the things that we are more of. We're just more community, right? We want to make sure that we're taking care of those who are in Carlsbad and went on to do great things. We want to recognize that. We want to recognize those who sacrificed all in order for us to live the life that we live. So that's why we take such good care of our veterans. You know, I've been the Chamber of Commerce CEO for 4 years, and some of the things we've done have been a little bit different. But I mean, but we stand on the shoulders of giants. You know, the more that we reference our past and learn from the things that happened in our past, I believe the better our future can be.
What do you mean by that? What
Well,
giants? What giants are you speaking of?
Well, I mean, like Lewis Whitlock, you know, he was a great New Mexican. He was a great Carlsbadian. He was the CEO of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce. He started, you know, a group called the Gold Coats, to where we get a group of city leaders together and we go to Santa Fe and we're like, you know, look, these are our needs, these are your needs, and we really want to try and bring in all that community. So, I believe that all communities do that. I believe that all communities have those individuals that we stand on the shoulders of, that we should be able to look back and say, you know what, this is how they did it. We're going to have to tweak it because we are in 2024.
Do you think there's a little misunderstanding about Carlsbad?
I think there always has been. You know, I think that Carlsbad has always been known for the caverns.
Which is not a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing at all. You know, I mean, what a great discovery. You know, but I think that now that we're kind of hitting this national stage with the oil and gas petroleum, well, we also have nuclear there. You know, we have the waste isolation pilot plant out there. That is a service to the country. You know, We have to be able to store some of this low-level items underground. It's a safe place to do it, and it employs over 3,000 people there.
The WHIP, I've actually been down to WHIP.
It's great.
Down into WHIP. And great, as you coin that, service to our country.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe.
Some people don't understand that, but.
Well, and that's okay. That's okay. And we're allowed to have those differences, right? We're allowed to have those conversations. But I don't believe they should ever lead into conflict, right? We can disagree, and that's okay. I'm 100%
But we have
fine.
these low-level radiation that we need to store somewhere.
That we have.
And Carlsbad stepped up and said,
we're not,
put us here, put us here.
and
But
we're-
underground, how far underground is it?
2,000 feet.
2,000 feet. But we're not storing fuel rods, right? We're storing gloves and hammers and socks and, some other just low-level things that still have to have that spot to go. You don't want this stuff up above ground. That's why WHIP is there.
3,000 employees. Is it a federal institution?
It is a federal ran program in partnership with DOE, but they also have a contractor that runs it right now that is called Simcoe. And they do a great job of managing that company.
Any other new industry coming in?
Because
WHIP's been there for a good 25 years.
it has. So
now.
we have.
It seems new, right? It seems like it's new, but
It does. Well, I think there's so much that comes out of that, right? That this town is ready to accept growth. So I think that's why, even though a lot of the oil and gas are not found directly in Carlsbad, right? This is where people want to put their base, is because we're open to that. So you've got nuclear, you've got oil and gas, you've of course got potash. Potash.
tell me about that. It's supposed to be the hub of the potash industry. What does that mean?
I'm not quite sure if it's the hub worldwide, but potash definitely built Carlsbad. The discovery of potash and everybody coming here to mine that.
What's potash, JW?
So I think we're the second largest exporter of potash in the country and stuff. Potash salt is used for the roads, de-icing the roads. So most of it's shipped up north. Fertilizer. And then it's also used in cat food. Recently learned that.
Used where?
Cat food.
Cat food?
Cat food.
You just never know.
They're eating potash?
Potash.
Okay.
So-
I think, okay. Oh, and I'm not sure if we wanted to get that out.
I mean,
Okay.
that's a little deep, but it's a wonderfully traded extractive, and
Extracted from
from
the
the ground.
hills, the grounds around
Grant, yeah,
potash.
so we got potash, we've got massive amounts of salt, and we've got oil and gas. And so when you put that all together, you get this community of Carlsbad with different.
And we talked about the community. I saw online, it said in the 2010 or 2020 census, maybe about 32,000 people.
Yeah.
That's a small town.
Well, and we love Google, right? So the 2010 census was 32.5, somewhere in there. The census that we just had in 2020, of course, it was in COVID, right? So we're all trying to do this census while we're in COVID. And that one came out and it shows us a little over 43,000. Our water usage, however, are you ready? It's closer to 89,000.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
Double
That's
it.
a big difference. And that's the story that we want to tell.
What, you got 90,000 people there?
Got 90,000 people in Carlsbad, New Mexico, Monday through Friday. Yeah, absolutely.
So the people that live Midland, Odessa, Texas, they travel to Carlsbad Monday through Thursday. So when you go to a restaurant, when you're in town, it's just constant traffic. It's just day in and day out. So those guys, most of them live in man camps. We have a lot of man camps around.
What's a man
trailer
camp,
parks
JW?
and stuff.
What's a man camp?
Think of a high-end RV park that has their own cooks, sleeping quarters, entertainment centers, and a lot of these companies, they build these, and they end up being permanent in a lot of situations for transient workers who are coming in and out. Louisiana, Oklahoma, the Dakotas, they're just coming in and out. But yeah, almost 90,000
So it's
people.
kind of like a motel? I mean, is it a building?
It's a series of buildings that are set up like in a mobile home park, but you'll have a series of buildings, like barracks.
Like
if you will.
barracks, okay.
So they're like 167 square feet. They've got a microwave. The bed folds into the wall, so it's fairly small.
But then they eat somewhere in a community setting?
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of?
They have a community setting that they can eat, or they come in.
So is it usually Monday through Thursday these folks are there, or are these folks all year round, or all week long?
We see a small dip in population over the weekends. When I say small dip, it's not a 40,000 person swing. So I think that in Carlsbad, we are easily, I'm going to go 72,000 people. 72,000 people in Carlsbad is what we have.
Because these folks from North Carolina who come to, or North Dakota who come to
wherever.
work, they're there all week.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
then a lot of folks come from Texas just to work the fields, the mines during the week, work week, and go back home. They travel, what, maybe 100, 200 miles?
Yeah, less than that.
Oh, less than that. A lot of Texans.
Yeah.
A lot of I think their schedules are like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So a lot of them come in for 2 weeks and then they're able to go home.
What
for
types
2
of
weeks.
jobs are we talking about, JW?
Out in the oil field, those guys that are working on the rig, we have a lot of drivers. They have sand trucks, they have the oil trucks, the water trucks and stuff. And again, the wages bring everybody in town. It's insane, anywhere from $35 an hour, $75 is average, up to $350 an hour. So
Wait a
you
second,
can make
he talks really fast.
$3,000 a day.
That's why I hired him. Yeah.
$35 an hour to $350 an hour?
Yeah, it depends on specialities, right? But what that does is that our hope is, and why we want everybody to know about Carlsbad, is these individuals who are coming here just for work, we want you to bring your families, right? We want you to bring your families. We want you to experience our town. We want you to put down your roots here, because a lot of these guys, this is their permanent job. This is their permanent job. They're just on this schedule to where they're, you know, this is the life in which they live. But we want people to move into Carlsbad. We want people
How
to
about
come.
housing? Tell me about housing.
You know, housing is just like, you know, all over New Mexico. I think that we have housing issues. I think that
I mean, if you want them to come, they got to have a blouse.
yeah, you know, and we've just started 2 new subdivisions. So we're on the right path. We've got infrastructure that's going to be going out to all of these subdivisions. So I think that I ran for city council 6 years ago, and we were a little over 5,000 units short. Since that time, we've built 2,500 homes. That's a lot, and we're continuing to build. With the addition of the 2 new subdivisions that we've got going, we've got that. We've had a couple of new apartment complexes show up. So we're growing. We're ready for growth. We're accepting of growth.
You are ready for growth.
And we're excited to be there.
The infrastructure is in the roads.
You know what? We've got some great city leadership, and they've looked at their long-term plans, and they said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get this
I
done.
forgot to say, of course, Carlsbad is southeast. So what it said, 285 goes into southeastern. I remember Governor Gary Johnson is the one who 4-laned that road. He knew
Really?
He knew the importance of the oil and gas industry, and that was one of his major projects. One of many major projects.
well,
was
and we
4-laning it because we need the safe transportation.
Yeah, and you know, with people from Carlsbad and people from Santa Fe, getting in together and having conversations, we're able to do a lot of stuff on 285 as it continues to move forward and make that road a lot safer.
Chad Ingram, what else, as the CEO of the Chamber, I said a lot at the beginning, you're more than that. What else? What other industries would you like to point out?
So I wanted to kind of talk about our Chamber of Commerce and our impact that we have.
And we've got 2 minutes left.
I can talk really, really fast. So our Chamber of Commerce has 4 legs: retirement, tourism, commerce, and we run a convention center. A lot of chambers only have 1 or 2 of those. We have all 4 legs. And the team that we have at the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce all believes in the same thing, is we're all going to grow together, we're all going to succeed together, and we're all going to be able to look into the future as a cohesive unit.
Fantastic. That's big. And you're so enthusiastic about this.
Oh, I love Carlsbad.
Well, yeah, but you want people to come. A lot of people in Santa Fe, we don't, there's a lot of growth in Santa Fe now with all these kind of inexpensive infill apartment buildings that they're allowing up there. But a lot of people want to preserve their community as it is, but you want to see it grow. Why?
Because I think it's important for the future. You know, if you continue to stay stagnant, nothing grows, right? You've got to shake up the water. You've got to shake up the water and enjoy the growth that you have.
If they want more information, how do they get it, Chad?
They can go to carlsbadchamber.com, or they can give us a call at 575-887-6516.
Now, you said that really fast.
575-887-6516, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with anybody about it.
Fantastic. And you've got the growth and you got room for more folks.
Yeah, and we've got a great team to help mold that.
And I know, JW, you'd like the seniors to come because it's a great place to
retirement,
retire.
absolutely. Yeah, I live in a great community, retirement community and stuff. Again, 50 yards from the golf course, 50 yards from the river. Chad hired me. I get up every morning, make a decision if I'm going to have to hike, bike, golf, kayak,
Or
fish.
come to work.
That's what he calls work. That's what he calls work.
That is work. Yeah.
That is.
Being here at the Balloon Fiesta this week, this is work. I love talking with all the people. Being from
Have
Albuquerque.
people moved in since you were here a year ago, JW?
Okay, so my story is I have.
We got 10 seconds.
The first call I got, I took them around on a 3-hour tour. 2 days later, they bought a house.
Well, because it's kind of an unknown secret that we're letting out how wonderful it is down in Carlsbad. Thank you so much for taking time out of your business and your enthusiasm.
I appreciate you
it
so much.
Thank you, JW.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And thanks for KCHF TV for sharing these secrets about Carlsbad. Thanks for watching. I'm Diane Kinderwater. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.